There it is.
We are ready to rock and roll.
We are back at it yet again. What day is it? It's Tuesday.
All
Man,
day.
all day. All right, well, we got a fun one ready for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to increase your sales, you're gonna want to tune in, check it out today. Here we go.
The Carrier Experience Podcast is a show for anyone who wants to grow their agency and be a titan of the insurance industry. Learn from a panel of experts who share their agency struggles, their experiences with the nation's best carriers, and share the marketing secrets that successful insurance agents are using today. Now, here's your host, the insurance pro, James Cias.
Boom, pro.
But I got it even better. So, all right, all you insurance pros out there, get ready for another episode with the Insurance Pro. Huh?
Boom. Insurance pros.
Insurance pros, because that's who's listening today, is a bunch of insurance pros who want to get better, want to improve their game. And I mean, that's what I'm doing by coming out here and first of all just reading all of these different articles and talking to all these different people. I'm trying to improve my game, so I know that that's what our audience is doing too. And speaking of which, all you audience members out there, everybody listening, if you wouldn't mind, before we jump into the full show, quick reminder to please subscribe on whichever platform it is that you are listening to us on. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and drop a review. Don't forget also to follow me on all of my social media at Insurance Bro Show. And if you want to be a guest, would love to have you on, would love to chat with you and get all of your secrets, get all of your knowledge that you can share with everybody who's listening in. If you want to be a guest, go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest, and we'd love to have you on and chit chat. Sounds like
sounds like a good time. I mean, let's face it, we're going to learn from each other.
That's what we do on this show. I see you added a new clip. I'm looking forward to using that one.
Oh yeah.
So here we go. Today's episode is an article from New Horizons Insurance Marketing. So we like pulling these articles and seeing, what tips and tricks are out there on the interwebs, and we'll give our own 2 cents on these. So this one is 10 psychological hacks to close more insurance sales. Psychological hacks. So I'm thinking first of all of the Brainy Business, Melina Palmer's show, as always. Psychological hacks, it's hers is the behavioral economics, so the science of why people buy. And so I'm really looking forward to what this is going to say, how to kind of trick people's brains into buying from you is what it sounds like to me.
I don't really want to say trick.
Don't want to say trick.
Let's face it, the truth of the matter is you're not trying to trick anybody into doing anything. All you're doing is laying it out in a way so that they can see the value in what it is that you're offering and how it's going to help them out. But you have to lay it out in a certain way, right? When you're talking sales, you have to lay it out. That's what your script is for. That's what these tips are for, to help you get that person to see the value that you're offering them.
Makes sense. Yeah. You're right. Trick is the bad word, but it is beneficial to lay things out in a certain way so that it's friendlier to a possibly otherwise overworked brain.
Boom. All right, you ready to hit this thing off with the first one?
Speaking of overworked brain, the very first one is to give less options. So the first thing that I want to say about this is, as insurance agents, we are a trusted advisor. So our customers coming to us without the knowledge about the insurance industry that we have. So they're coming to us and they're saying, this is what I have. This is what I need. This is my business. Find the policy that works for me. Get me the best policy. Right. And of course, I mean, they're always also looking for, give me the cheapest policy too, but cheapest and best don't necessarily go hand in hand. So we want to make sure that we're giving them the best policy first and foremost, the one that's going to provide them with the most protections, and obviously also try to find a way to make it fit within their budget. But what I don't like to do, what I'd never recommend to any agent, is to provide 2, 3, 4 different options. When you're presenting an insurance proposal to your customer, it's just the one. Don't present 4 different options and say, well, this is everywhere that we can go. Just stick to the one. This is the one that I think that you should have. This is why I believe in it. And sell again, always on the coverages. Tell them why you're recommending this one over any of the others.
A confused mind will always say no, right? A confused mind just doesn't know what to do. Think about when you go to the buffet or when you go to a 7-Eleven, you're going to grab a soda and then you go to the fountain drinks and there's all kinds of options. Not only is there, you have your Coca-Colas and your Dr. Peppers and your root beers and all that stuff. Then they went and get all fancier on you and they're like, do you want cherry pumps in that? Do you want vanilla pumps in that? Do you want diet version of that? Like all of a sudden you sit in front of the machine and you're like, what am I going to pick? I don't even know. And now everybody behind you is getting all mad because you don't know what to choose. You're giving your client the same experience if you come up and you're like, carrier number 1, carrier number 2, carrier number 3, carrier number 4. Which one do you want? First of all, they don't speak insurance anyway, so they're not going to really know the difference. If you're going to focus your attention on options, talk about the options within the policy that you have decided to present to them. Don't present 5 different policies with 5 different carriers who operate in 5 different ways and 5 different payment methods. You don't need all that. Pick the one that you know is going to meet the needs of your client the best. Give them the options within that policy that you're offering them, and that's it. Let them choose yes or yes, and that's about it.
Yes or yes. I like that. Number 2, don't let no be an answer. So it's kind of similar, right? It's taking away the options of walking away.
This is
which one? Go ahead.
Yeah, to me, this is one of those things where, before I said a confused mind says no. Well, the other thing is oftentimes when you hear the word no, it isn't no and O, it's KNWO. They just don't know enough to make that next step. And when you're talking sales, oftentimes it comes down to the objections that are going to come to play. If you're not thinking ahead of time of the objections, I mean, when you're in sales in whatever industry you're in, oftentimes the objections are the same in that industry over and over and over again. So in insurance, you're going to come across the same objections. You're going to come across price. You're going to come across frequency of payment. You're going to come across down payment, right? All these different things that are ahead of time so that are coming. If your presentation does not include those types of answers ahead of time, your answer is going to be no, because your client just doesn't know everything they need to know yet. So make sure that you don't let no be an answer by providing them the objections ahead of time. Maybe you can start your presentation with something like, look, I'm gonna show you this policy that I think would best meet your needs. However, the most common questions that I get asked are X, Y, and Z, and just lay them out on the table up front. Be up front with your objections. It reminds me of Eminem's movie, The 8 Mile, right? So if you ever watched Eminem's 8 Mile, at the end of the movie, he's gonna do a rap battle. And at the end of the rap battle, he decides that he goes first and he lays out everything. He talks about how he's white trash and how he comes from a broken home and lives in a trailer park. He lays out all the skeletons in his closet so that when the competition comes up, he can't say a thing because it was already said. I want you to take the same approach when you're talking about that in your sales presentation. Come forward with the objections. Don't hide behind them. Put them out on the table first. Address them, and then at the end, when they talk about closing is nothing more than when a client says yes, that's nothing more than what should happen when you have a good presentation. If you have a good presentation that you're setting up ahead of time, then the natural response to that good presentation is a close. That's to me the don't let no be an answer.
So it's that proper preparation and education, showing everything that there is to know about the coverages, sharing everything that they need to know about the coverages. It takes away that no, because you've already presented them with all of the information. So again, you're not showing them a bunch of different options and saying which one do you want. You're just saying, here's what I've got for you. I'm sorry, showing them a bunch of different options saying, do you want this? You're just showing them, this is what I've got for you. Which part of this do you want?
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. All right. Number three. Prioritize the fear of loss over the reward of gain.
I love it. It's right here on the article. I'm just going to read it. There's 2 ways of looking at it. You could save $10 a month by using this trick, or you're losing $10 a month by using this trick.
By not using this trick. There you go. So, it's all about presentation. Dad always said, right? It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
So when you are presenting to a customer, when you're showing them these are the different options, it's this is what you're saving, right? You're saving $50 a month by not opting for this coverage or that coverage or whatever it might be, $50 a year. But this is what you're losing. These are the things that could happen. This is, this is kind of how the insurance game works, right? When we're talking to customers, especially our homeowners, and we want to make sure that they're properly covered in all these different areas, we talk to them about that worst case scenario. This is the worst thing that could happen. And if you have a situation, I was talking to your brother-in-law actually, and he was like, I want to have a good policy in place because I got the truck and I got the boat and I got the house, and what if I'm driving down the road and I lose control of the boat and it goes off, and this is the worst case scenario, right? The trailer goes off, the boat goes into the car next to him, causes a huge crash, this whole thing. Next thing you know, you're liable for
Everything.
all of those different losses. Yeah, I mean, and there goes your house, there goes your income, there goes everything. So prioritizing that fear of the loss over the reward of gain. Okay, cool. If you didn't pay for that policy, you save an extra $100 a month.
I like how
Right.
you also use the did you know driving your car could cost you your home? And that's
Right.
another version of, prioritize that fear of loss. Like, I don't want to lose my home. What are you talking about? And that grabs their attention. The moment you have their attention, now you have the capability to present the story that is involved there, right? You hook them, then you got the story, then you can present the offer. And that's really what it comes down to in almost every sales presentation that you're talking about. Hook, story, and offer is the way to go. If you want to learn more about hook, story, and offer, by the way, check out Russell Brunson's books he's got .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets. And he talks about the psychology of selling things to people using different types of sales scripts. And so understanding that hook that you just grab their attention, and then once you have their attention, you can tell the story, just like James did, telling the story about the potential loss for a boat, the potential loss for a car crash. And all of a sudden you've painted the picture. Now you can present your offer that meets the need of the story or the pain point that you've just showed your potential client. So that's what it's talking about. Prioritize the fear of loss over the reward of gain. All right.
100%.
Number 4, Ham. Number
4. Take the sale away. So taking the sale away is explaining to your customer when they're no longer going to be eligible for the sale. So on the life insurance side of things or health insurance, it's really easy. Like once you're sick, that's it. Too late. Can't sell you an insurance policy, can't sell you a life insurance policy, can't sell you a health insurance policy. You have to buy the insurance before there's an event that you actually need it. So same thing with earthquake insurance. We know there's an earthquake coming in California, right? We know we're overdue for significant earthquake, the big one. When's it going to happen? Nobody knows. But if you don't have an earthquake policy in place today and it happens today, guess what? Sorry, so sorry. Not going to work. We get emails all day, all the time, especially right now during the wildfire season, and they send what's called moratoriums. So moratoriums on new business, moratoriums on endorsements to change deductibles and things like that. And these moratoriums means you can't sell business, you can't write new business in these zip codes because there's wildfires happening, because there's riots happening, because there's whatever it is that could be happening that's happening in those areas. Once you get to that point, it's too late. If you have your identity stolen and you did not opt for that $30 ID theft endorsement, it's too late. You're going to be out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars. If your kid said something stupid on Facebook and caused a financial loss to someone else and you didn't have the personal injury endorsement on your homeowner's policy, it's too late. So,
oh, hell no.
Yeah, there it is.
I'm looking for a time to play that.
So that's what we're talking about when it's take the sale away. It's when the window closes. It's too late. We can't do it anymore because something has already occurred, and we want to get ahead of it. If you're driving your truck and you lose control of your boat, we want you to already have the coverage that you need in place so that you don't lose your home, you don't lose all of your assets, rather than, afterwards you call me and you're like, damn, I should have had that coverage.
Mm, mm, mm.
Not a
And
good situation.
yeah, never a good situation. And the client will be upset because that's the way it works, but that's why you need to present it up front. All right, trick number 5. Psych sales trick number 5. Be unreasonable, then back to reality.
All right. Did you look at this one? Do you know what this one means at all?
No, I didn't. Did I lose you? Uh-oh. We lost James on the screen. I think he hit the wrong button. All right. Well, he's coming back right now. There you go. He came back.
I lose. I like
Hit the wrong button. I know.
my hand over my mouse and stupid Mac. Mac, that's stupid Mac. Anyway, so take this. Be unreasonable, then back to reality. This is a great sales trick, and I love the way that they present it. They're like, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. So here's the policy. Here's all the coverages that we discussed. Here's XYZ. This endorsement, that endorsement, this limited liability, blah 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 blah. That's gonna be $10,000 a year, and you just get the
what?
Yeah, like I'm just kidding. It's $1,300 a year.
Actually, I should have been ready. They would have said.
I said, hold up, wait a minute.
That's what would have happened.
That's great. Hold up. But yeah, that's a great one. Do you ever do that with the kids or in class or anything?
And the example they gave here, yeah, I've done that a number of times. So the example they give in the article is the teacher goes up to the students and says, "All right, guys, we got a 10-page paper due on Friday," and the class is like, and they're like, "I'm just kidding. All right, it's only going to be 3 pages, right? And you're good to go." But if you would have started with, "Hey, class, we're going to have a 3-page paper due on Friday," the class would have been like, ugh, right? And then that's it. That's the answer. But they feel better about the situation now that it's only 3 pages. My contractor would do the same thing to me. He'd call me up. He's like, "Hey, dude, we got this problem. It's going to be like $7,000 to fix it." And I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "I'm just kidding. It's not that bad, dude. It's just, there is something that we need to fix, but it's only gonna be like $1,000. In hindsight now, I mean, if he would have started with 1,000, it still would have sucked, right? But because he started with the other value, now that $1,000 doesn't look so bad. So
it doesn't hurt as bad, right?
It doesn't hurt as bad. And a little thing about this one is you also got to gauge your audience, right? Who are you talking to? If you're talking to the guy who's the analytic and who's looking at all the numbers, and you come with something like that, that's going to be a joke that's not funny. That's like my kids looking at me and saying, "Really? That's a dad joke." Right? You don't want to come off as that. But if you had a good rapport with your client and you can go back and forth and you have that kind of, joking type of attitude, then that's cool. That's how you're going to do it. They know they're going to come out of pocket at some point to cover for their insurance. Insurance is not free. We all know that. But understanding what we're going to pay and how we present that information, this gives you a little bit of that leeway, right? Now you're going back and forth. Dude, it's only going to be like $5,000 a year. $5,000? Just kidding, dude. It's going to be like $1,000 a year, but we can break that up into monthly payments. It'll be something like whatever, $100 a month or $80 a month, whatever you're going to come out at, right? But that's the whole point, right? Is you what Melina would call that was anchor and adjust. This is really what that is in psychology. It's anchoring and adjusting. Right?
Look at you using these behavioral economic terms.
Melina would be proud, right?
She would be proud.
So this is anchoring and adjusting. This is setting the price high and then coming down to where you actually want to be, and it eases the tension. You anchor them really high and then coming back down to that reality point makes it so much easier to swallow, even though you're still coming out of pocket.
100%. And huge shout out, Monica. Thank you so much. Love you too. Appreciate you.
All right. Number 6.
Sell on the emotion trigger first. This is a good one. I mean, we're in insurance, right? We definitely sell on emotion. When it comes right down to it, there's you've got your 2 types of customers. I mean, there's plenty of different types of customers, but 2 that I'm thinking of is the ones that just want what they need and don't try and sell me on anything else. By the way, I try not to work with those ones as much. I'm not an order taker. I'm a consultant. And then you've got your people that, want to actually purchase policies that are intended to protect them from whatever may come, that, whatever unforeseen events that may come. So it's those unforeseens. It's that fear that we're kind of driven on. I mean, it's all of us. It's what the industry essentially works on. But another thing that you're able to do if you are developing a relationship with your customer, and that's, that big R word, right? The relationship with your customer is to figure out what things they value and trigger those emotions.
What
In
kind
other
of
words,
people they are. Yeah.
what kind of people are they? For me, for example, one of my big goals, one of my big life goals is to solve homelessness. So if you're trying to sell me something and you say, by the way, when when you buy this from me, I'm going to take 25%, 10% of the commissions that I earn from this, and I'm going to donate it to a charity organization that you are that you care about.
Which is a perfect time right now to plug the Amazon thing for the
yeah, I might as well throw that in there. So smile.amazon.com, for those of you who are unaware, instead of going directly to amazon.com, just put a smile in front of it, smile.amazon.com, and then you can select whichever charity organization that you choose, whatever you're passionate about. And every time you order something from smile.amazon.com, and it's the same as amazon.com, you just put a smile in front of it, right? It will donate a part of your purchase to that organization. So just saying.
And you know what? I'm going to take this time, by the way, to kind of throw in a little plug in here too. This is one of those things that we like to do on our show. Look, we're giving you a lot of content that can help you increase your sales. And if you want to grow your own business, grow your own independent agency, have the tools accessible, and have us at your beck and call, essentially, right? Have our team right there to support you. Go to pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities. We're providing agents the opportunity to literally plug and play. If you have an existing business, maybe you're a tax professional, maybe you're in loans, maybe you're in real estate, and you want to add another income stream, we have it set up so that you can literally plug and play this thing. And we're just today, if you guys pay attention to at Insurance Bro Show on social media, you'll see James's story talking about how we're improving the onboarding process to wow you. It's already a great onboarding process, but we're working our emotional aspect of it, just like these psychological tricks that are being put into content for you so you can consume them. We're also doing the same type of thing, not really trying to trick you, but trying to appease your emotions as you go through the buying process, so we can teach you to implement these same types of strategies in your own book of business to increase your sales, and even better, to increase your retention. So check out pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities for more details.
Awesome. Moving on to number 7, which is build value that exceeds the price. Build value that exceeds the price. So, this is kind of tying into the same thing that we were just talking about, getting into the emotion. What are the things that are important to your customer, and how are you providing a solution that's going to help with what's important to them? For me personally, I always go back to my own personal why statement. I'm inspired to spread positivity and empower others to create wealth for today and generational wealth for tomorrow, so that we all might thrive in life's abundance and pass that opportunity on to those we hold dear. So this is what propels me, and these are the things that I want to also provide to my customers, to my agents. I want to build value that exceeds the price. What are the things that are important to you? Is it family? Is it freedom? Is it travel? Is it residual income? Is it helping others? Whatever it is, let's find that. Let's build that together through our agency, through our partnership. And if you're a customer, I want to make sure that I'm putting you with the right products that's going to protect all of those things that are important to you.
Here's the thing about price. Look, we live in the internet age where people, it's honestly, it's a race to the bottom. So you're looking at everything from it could be, think about Amazon. You want to buy a microphone, for example, on Amazon. You can look up microphones, and it's a race to the bottom. You're going to look at the lowest price first is going to come up, unless you change your filter settings. Why? Because everybody wants to make a sale. And when you get to the bottom of the price, your margins also become different. Just because you have an inexpensive policy doesn't mean that carrier provides some of the same coverages or some of the same benefits that might actually help out your client. So understanding that value and stacking that value, if you can't be the cheapest, be the most expensive. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but think about this. It's not always about the premium price. It's about the quality of service that you're providing. above and beyond just the insurance stuff. There are things that you can do for your clientele where, things that you should be doing as an insurance pro, but things that are not the normal, things like doing those annual reviews, maybe sending out those holiday events, maybe enjoying being part of your network group, and you're sending them referrals for their existing businesses, maybe giving them additional promotions, like starting a podcast and giving them additional content. These are all value adds that you can add to your client base, and it gives them a reason to want to pay that little bit of extra premium because they want to come to you individually. So find ways to build value that exceed the price. Don't always make it a race to the bottom, because you're not a bottom feeder. You're at the top. You need to make yourself one of the top producers. They don't call them bottom producers, right? They're the top producers out there because they're bringing value more than just the policy, more than just the price.
Trusted advisors always aim to be a trusted advisor. Speaking of which, that will help you in trick number 8 here, which is fight against suspicion. To me, that just says relationship, relationship, relationship. If you have a reputation, if you come off as, if you talk like a sleazy slick oil car salesman, which somebody called me that not too long ago, by the way, but yeah, it was a troll on the Facebook, and I was like just floored. But anyway, if you come off as someone who is that slick, used car salesperson, then that's what it's going to look like. Perception is reality. So building that relationship and being authentic, being genuine, admitting if you don't know an answer, going back to find the answer, providing as much education about different coverages, just lay it out all on the line. Be as authentic as you possibly can, and you won't have that suspicion problem.
No, and it comes down to, again, what you're giving to this relationship is always going to be more than what you're receiving, and just get over it. That's the way it's going to work. It works that way, by the way, in your own personal relationships too. If you want your relationship to work, then you're going to be the one giving more effort. You should be the one giving more, right? Because that's what's going to happen. It's the reciprocity of giving that actually returns things later on. You're not doing it with the intent of receiving anything, but you're doing it with the intent of empowering the other person to enjoy the relationship, or empowering yourself to enjoy the relationship that you have with each other. So when it comes to your client itself, right, understand that if there's somebody who doesn't know you, this is why you want to make sure you have case studies, why you have past client referrals, why you have current client referrals, why you have videos, why you have testimonials, why you have your story on Instagram, all those things showing people who you are. Because believe it or not, you have a reputation. You may not know that you have a reputation, but you have one, even if you're not on social media as much as everybody else. And that whole suspicious thing about, I don't want to be on social media, I don't want people knowing what I put out there, you need to get over that. Let's face it. You are in control of what you post. You decide who you are. You decide what brand you have, and everybody else is going to see that. If you're the guy who posts Damn! But if you're the person who posts pictures of their food all the time, guess what? You're the food guy. Whether you liked it to be or not, you're the food guy. But if you're the guy who does a story after you run every day, guess what? You're that athletic guy that runs every day. If you're the guy who does a podcast every day about insurance or business, guess what? You're the guy who does a podcast every day. You create your brand. So you take control of what you're putting on social media.
If you got pictures of birds all over your Instagram, guess what? You're a bird nerd.
Let everybody see what you want them to see.
But that does get us right into this number 9 here, which is gathering the crowd. And exactly what you're talking about when it comes to building your brand, you do get to choose what your brand is, because it's all about the content that you put out. If you're putting out pictures of birds, you're gonna attract the bird nerds. I'm a bird nerd, by the way. If you put out all kinds of pictures of food, you're gonna attract the people that love food porn, right? You're going to attract the people who enjoyed it, whatever it is that you're putting out. So, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you are, in the insurance space, you use these things to attract people, and then you slide those insurance things in there, maybe in your stories, for example. You find ways to throw it in there in other things that you do. Just the trick really is to get in front of people, tell them what it is that you do. And when I talk about gather the crowd, the first thing that came to my mind was reviews. Make sure that you've got those Yelp reviews, Google reviews, get all of those in there, get those testimonials. Everything that you were just talking about, like I switched it to tip number 9 while you were talking, because everything that you were saying was all about gathering the crowd, gathering your crowd, and getting as many raving fans as you can.
And I'm gonna touch on this again. I've touched on it in the past, but if you wake up every day and you hate giving a call to your book of business, you don't like dealing with specific customers, I want to point the finger at you and say this is your fault. You have decided what you're doing or who you're working with. You have decided what clients you're getting by the bait that you're putting out. Your hooks, your offers, your marketing that you're putting out is attracting a specific kind of client. And if you don't like the clients that you're working with, you need to switch the type of marketing that you're doing so you're attracting the people that you want to work with. That's why I suggest you decide who you are and post those things on social media and be that person that you want other people to see, because people that are like you are going to be attracted to you and are going to want to do business with you. And I would rather wake up every day and make phone calls to people who are like-minded and who I can have a conversation with and have fun with and do business with than the people I don't, right? So you need to look at your own book
100%.
of business and decide, are these the customers that I want to work with, and get yourself in a position where you can fire those people, but go out and work and look for the clients that you actually want to do business with. You got to gather your own crowd.
And the people that you want to do business with, more often than not, are going to be a lot like you, mirroring your client's behavior. I mean, there's definitely, the psychological trick, right? If I have my hand on my cheek and I'm kind of tapping my cheek and you start doing the same thing, right? It's one of these psychological tricks that people use in just in general communication, mirroring. But when it comes right down to it, when you're working with your customers, to your point, if you hate calling your customers, it's because they're not like you. They don't get you. You wouldn't go out and have a beer with them. You wouldn't go out and have dinner with them. But gathering people that are like you, if you're like me, I like you.
Exactly. And that's what it comes down to. We attract people that are in our circle. Our tribes will find each other. That's the beauty of the internet today. Literally, here's something that blew my mind when I found this out. I think it was in a book, but they were talking about how the people were complaining about what they saw on their social media feeds. So they would complain about it. They're like, oh man, every time I open my phone, all I see is anti-Trump stuff. I hate all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? That's what's grabbing your attention. That's what you keep looking at. So the algorithm is going to show you what you are looking at. Yep. If you don't like what you see on your algorithm, go ahead and watch the other side. And I tell people this all the time. And we use politics right now because it's almost election time.
Because
right?
It's 20 days or whatever it is.
20 days out. If you're going to watch Fox News, I suggest you watch MSNBC as well. You may not agree with one side or the other, but get both sides so that you can have a good understanding and make your own decision. If you're watching one thing on social media that keeps popping up, look at the complete opposite so that the algorithm starts to pay attention a little more to the other side and you start to get a balance on what you're doing on your social media feed. That algorithm is really more like a mirror than you know. It's bringing you the things that you are attracted to. That's why on my social media feed, I see a lot of Mike Tyson. I see a lot of Michael Jordan. I see a lot, and I couldn't figure out why I was looking at these people. And then James pointed out, it's because you're attracted to the greats. You're attracted to the GOATs. Like, that's what you like to look at. I'm like, you know what? That's actually right. I do like to see those people. I like their struggle stories and how they got to where they're going to be. So when I talk to people in real life, guess who I tend to go after? If there's a crowd of people, I want to talk to the one that that has a center of attention. I want to talk to that person. That's who I gravitate to, and that's who I want. And I don't go over there and talk to them like in like a groupie style. I want them to know my name and to be part, and I want to be part of that circle. So that's how I operate. And as such, my social media feed is the same way. Mirror your clients. In other words, understand who you are, and then start to talk to those specific people. Start to talk to the market that is just like you, and you're going to see that your clients are going to come in, and you're going to like doing business with them.
That's right. So there we go, ladies and gents. 10 psychological tricks to help you improve.
Give it a 10. A 10.
10. Give it a 10.
So that'll hopefully help everybody improve their sales. Again, the link to the article is in the show notes, in the comments. Feel free to check that out and give a little read for yourself. Don't forget always to follow me on all my social media at Insurance Bro Show. If you want to be a guest on the show, I would love to have you on. Go to www.insurancebroshow.com/guest. Don't forget to, before you click off here, subscribe, like, give us a comment, give us a review, help us show up higher on the search results so that all of the other agents out there who are struggling and figuring things out on as they go, they can gain all this value from the stuff that we're putting out. So give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a review. Other than that, I got nothing else. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Thank you for the commentary. And what do I always say? You rock my socks. You have my heart. I love you all.
Have a nice day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Carrier Experience Podcast. James is a CEO of the Pipeline team of San Diego and is always in the market for top talent. If you are an agent looking for a place to hang your license, visit pipelineinsurance.com/agent opportunities or send an email to newagent@pipelineinsurance.com. You can find